Hello, boys and girls. We're back with another exciting video. Before we get started, what do you think is the scariest fact about the human brain? I'm sure you would get 10 different answers if you asked 10 people. However, if anyone really thought about it and knew a lot about the human brain, they would conclude that the scariest fact is what was revealed in the DK experiment that took place on the campus of Cornell University on August 15th, 1999. That experiment proved that our brain often plays a cruel trick on us. Once you understand how it works, you're 10 times more likely to succeed at a future goal. Are you excited about learning what it is? Okay, great. Let's get to it. Here's a fun fact. The study was inspired by a real-life news story where a guy robbed a bank in an unusual way. In 1995, MacArthur Wheeler, a resident of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, decided to rob two banks in broad daylight. Not only did he skip wearing a mask or disguise, but he also looked directly into the security cameras with a level of confidence that, in hindsight, was pure comedy. When police later showed Wheeler the surveillance footage during his arrest, he was stunned. With a confused look, he said, "But I wore the juice." Let's pause here, because this is where it gets wild. Wheeler believed that lemon juice, yes, the juice that you squeeze out of a lemon, would render him invisible to security cameras. He thought it worked like invisible ink, which can be created using lemon juice that disappears when heated. Based on this understanding, his reasoning was simple. Okay, perfect. If lemon juice could hide messages on paper, it would hide my face on a camera. That led to him confidently walking into banks, robbing them while mockingly looking right into the cameras. As one could easily predict, he was arrested hours after the robbery. The police didn't have to do much detective work because his face was crystal clear on all the footage. That single event led two brilliant psychologists, David Dunning and Justin Kruger, to get together to investigate the question, why are so many people so confident when they shouldn't be? What's going on here? We need to study this now. They were on a quest to figure out what's happening in our brains when we're bad at something, and yet we don't even realize how bad we are. And that curiosity led them to one of the most eye-opening and hilarious psychological studies of all time, the experiment. Everyone thinks they're above average. Here's what Dunning and Kruger did. They rounded up a bunch of college students and gave them tests in 3 areas. Humor, rating jokes, because who doesn't love a good joke? Grammar, because let's face it, we all have that one friend who thinks they're a grammar expert, but you often catch them making simple mistakes. Logic, the kind of reasoning skills that keep you from falling for pyramid schemes. After the students took the tests, the researchers asked them 2 simple questions. How well do you think you did? How do you think you compare to everyone else here? Here's where it gets interesting. And by interesting, I mean painfully funny. The worst performers, the ones who bombed the tests, thought they were rock stars. They confidently guessed they were in the top 25% of their group. These people see a fail on their test and think, the professor must have made a mistake. Meanwhile, and I find this interesting, the top performers, the people who aced the tests, underestimated themselves. They thought, surely everyone else did just as well as me. These folks had no idea just how exceptional they were, because they assumed the competition was just as sharp. Why is this important? Well, let's break this down in real-world terms. Imagine you're at a party. There's a guy in the corner explaining Bitcoin, and he's got this "I'm definitely the smartest person here" vibe. He has no idea what he's talking about, but he doesn't know that he doesn't know. That's the Dunning-Kruger Effect in action. The less someone knows, the less they can recognize their incompetence. Meanwhile, there's someone else quietly sipping their drink, actually understanding blockchain technology. He could tell you about the different sectors of crypto. He can explain programmable blockchains and NFTs, but thinks, well, it's pretty basic stuff. Everyone must know this. That's the other side of the effect. The experts underestimate themselves. So the question is, why do we do this? Why does our brain play this cruel trick on us? The Dunning-Kruger effect happens because ignorance is sneaky. If you don't know much about a topic, you don't even know what you're missing. It's like trying to cook a fancy meal with zero idea how to saute onions. You assume you're doing fine. Experts assume everyone else is like them. Once you become skilled, you forget how hard it was to learn and believe it's easy for everyone. One of the best cases of this concept is talent shows. Think about all those cringeworthy auditions on talent shows like American Idol. You've got someone belting out a song completely off key, and when the judges tell them it's a no, they're shocked. What do you mean? Do you seriously think I'm not good? What is wrong with these judges? Well, my friend, that's classic Dunning-Kruger. They're so bad, they can't even hear how bad they are. The scary part is, we've all been there. What can we learn from this? There are 4 crucial tips. Number 1, be humble. The next time you think, I've totally got this, pause for a moment and ask, do I really? Or am I just underestimating how much I don't know? Number 2, don't be ashamed to ask for feedback. Want to avoid falling into the Dunning-Kruger trap? Ask for honest feedback from people who actually know what they're doing. Pro tip, your mom doesn't count. Number 3, keep learning. The more you know, the better you'll recognize gaps in your knowledge. It's okay not to be an expert at everything. What matters is staying curious. Number 4, Recognize it in others. Don't get frustrated when someone seems too confident about something they clearly don't understand. Just smile and think, the Dunning-Kruger Effect strikes again. The bigger picture. The Dunning-Kruger Effect teaches us that the human brain is a funny thing. It can make us overestimate ourselves when we know nothing and doubt ourselves when we're experts. But the key to navigating this quirk is simple. Stay humble, stay curious, and never stop learning. Because the truth is, we're all clueless about many things, and that's what makes life so interesting.